No, I got to lean in.
What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It is time to lean in, bitch, on this here Wednesday for the Real Housewives in New Jersey. Sammy, I did the same thing you did. I literally was trying to run, but I made it back before you because I was literally running to the damn bath. I'm out of breath.
My God,
took my damn ankle.
Listen, it's so crazy because we have like about a minute and 30 seconds before we go live every time, and we still sometimes be running, baby. But y'all don't see all that. What's going on to everybody in the chat right now? Is it Ty TV? Chase is here.
Hey, Chase.
What's going on to everybody? Ty, I've heard good things about you. Can't wait to get to meet you eventually in the future. But we're here to talk about the Real Housewives in New Jersey. I'm on my third day of these damn antibiotics. So this congestion is almost gone. Okay. Hopefully by next Monday it'll be gone. So bear with me still. I ask you, please bear with this little scratchy voice. What?
Are you saying you caught something in Houston when you hung out with Sammy over the weekend?
No.
I heard.
I had a sinus infection then too, but I was not I couldn't like I was gonna kick it. I was trying to kick it. I was gonna kick it and get my hookah, okay? And worry about life.
Y'all share a hookah? Oh God, y'all nasty with
you, Danny.
Y'all like nasty in Houston. I don't do hookah. We had hors d'oeuvres and shrimp.
All right, so like I said, we're gonna talk about Jersey. I just watched the episode. I've been trying to get in a better habit of watching the episodes right before I go live, just so I don't miss anything. I typically don't, but in that case, I do. So shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this video as we get started on episode 4. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of cackled a couple of times. These women are really crazy. I look forward to Jersey every week, but the end of the episode just had me hollering because it was just complete chaos in the matter of like all of 6 minutes. So let's get into it. Starting with, I guess the episode began with the guys leaving boys' night. You know, last week's episode we had Louie and Joey getting into it, and some aftermath of the event where Teresa did eventually go ahead and invite Melissa to the wedding, to be in the wedding. Melissa said no. I don't know why she said no. She wanted to, but we all said that she said it because the way that Teresa offered it to her, like, here go a bone girl here. So at this rate, she said she's okay, right? So in this episode, all the husbands, they return home, and the first scene that we get 2 scenes kind of like simultaneously. Melissa and Joe are together, and of course, Joe is filling Melissa in on what happened at the boys' night. And he brings up that Louie brought up the podcast that they talk, with them talking about how they put food on the table and filmed with Joe while Teresa was away. And Melissa is just kind of flabbergasted. She doesn't believe or understand why. One, because he wasn't around. How would he know that? I'm like, he probably definitely talked to Teresa. I mean,
right?
The podcast
talk to her damn kids.
The podcast is available. It's public. Don't listen to it.
That's the point. That's the point of podcasts. People listen to them.
Right. And so then Melissa tries to clear up what she meant by the podcast by saying that literally the exact words, we put food on the table. It's basically saying like this is the time. The podcast, when she made that statement in the podcast, it was them saying that they were basically being good family members to help them out and be there when Teresa could not. So I'll get y'all thoughts on that first before I get to Teresa and Louie scene, because it kind of goes into obviously they planned this conversation because the conversations happened while they were the phone conversation happened while they were together. So Jamie, when you saw Melissa and Joe talking about this and Melissa clearing up, do you feel like Melissa was any more in the clear than she was before or not? Because you weren't here last week, right? I can't remember.
No, I was here.
He was here.
I wasn't here the week before.
Who wasn't here last week?
We were all here.
We were all here.
Whatever.
How many antibiotics did you take?
Put it not enough. I'm looking at your ass on the slate.
And you're going to need some more because of that.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Even if Melissa was 100% in the right, and even if her and Joe are 100% telling the truth, I would still be completely annoyed as fuck by them and take Teresa's side. even if, like, you're a 55-year-old man crying on camera that your sister hasn't said thank you, that you went and visited her kids twice while she was in jail. Like, I really don't understand the angle or what their end game is, because I don't think they understand it. And while this whole exchange, Melissa, I really can't tell who I can't stand worse, like her or Kyle at this point, because they're both give me the same energy. They're both perpetual victims, no matter what you try to do to placate them.
Sam.
I don't think that she tried to say I was just saying that we helped. Like, she didn't make it any better. She just basically doubled down on it. I don't get how she doesn't realize that. I mean, even still, it's not like Melissa and Joe were just hard off, without money. Y'all didn't even have to do a film or do a show to help those girls out. Y'all could have just helped take care of them just because y'all had the means to do so. So it just further helps Teresa's claims that they just did it for the sake of being on TV, for the sake of looking like they were coming to her rescue. That's been their whole issue this time for me, in my opinion, is that since Teresa's not going through bullshit anymore, they can't come and just save her. So now she's just happy she doesn't need them to come and be the rescue crew anymore. So I just think they get more pathetic each episode.
Yeah, she's in her love bubble.
She's in her love bubble. And they don't like.
And Teresa's annoying. My God, do you know what you have to do in order to annoying a Teresa? Like, do you know what you have to accomplish to make me be more annoyed with you than Teresa? Be Sammy.
Was that the beginning of the episode when Melissa was like, there came to a point where Jersey was going to redo the entire cast but keep her. It's just like technicality. Like your sister was saying that Teresa got invited to the christening off of technicality. Like you're a technicality, Melissa. They didn't need you. They needed Joe because of his dynamic with Teresa. You just happen to be Joe's wife, a housewife. So that's how you get pulled in. But you have no value to Bravo outside of Teresa, if you ask me. That's the only reason you were being kept.
Well, and honestly, it's like, if you were that dynamic, why didn't the show just continue?
Keep going with.
Because her saying that people were going to get fired, they were going to redo it. That's not true. Because when Teresa came back, they kept the same fucking cast. They added like 2 people. Like, what the hell?
I don't know.
That's true. Well, so we get to see Teresa and Louie's side as they're having a conversation as well. Louie has told Teresa how Joe came at him, calling him all type of names and words, and Teresa's like, "Oh my God, how can he do that?" And whatever. She talks. Is that what he said to you? Wow, that's so rude. I'm like, oh my God,
that's crazy. She got a little bit of a list.
Well, she says, well, she still doesn't understand what's the issue with Melissa's family not being invited. And she says that, well, she didn't invite your family to Antonia's Sweet 16. And I tried to fight and help find a correlation. I knew what she was trying to say, but I was just like, okay, Teresa. Whatever. If that's what you got out of that brain of yours, please, I will take it.
Louis saved her. Louis saved her when he says, well, we don't care about it. She goes, you're right, we don't care about it. I was like, okay, thank God you got Louis.
Keep moving along.
But Louis, trying to, at this point, I feel like he's definitely been supportive of Teresa. But now he can tell, like, the conversation between him and Joe, he's trying to, like, help mend it because he's probably sick of the shit, too. He's sick of her. He's sick of Teresa talking about it. He's sick of having to deal with Joe. He want to go hang with the boys and just hang with the boys, but it turns into a whole Housewives scene every time. So he basically says, like, listen, he misses you, and I think you should call and invite him to the housewarming and just call and make peace, right? And so she calls him. And when she calls him, it's like a very awkward, hey, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. Okay, cool. It's very dry. To the point to where Melissa on the side like this, listening in, leaning in, and Louis is looking at Teresa just be even more confused. So he starts to write he starts to give her little cue cards on the damn paper, telling her what to say because she don't know what to say. And he tells her to say what, like, let's make peace or something like that. Want to make peace. Want to make peace. And Joe was like, let's make peace or whatever. But Joey does reveal that he's not sure if he's going to come to the housewarming in this moment. Well, wait, did he say? No, actually, he didn't say that. He didn't tell her that. He told that to Melissa once they got off the phone.
He told her too. He told her too. He told her. She asked him. He was like, I don't know.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so I got that right. And then once they got off the phone, Melissa's like, Joe is like, we got peace. And Melissa's like, no, you got peace with that. You got peace with that girl. And I'm like, oh, Melissa, you so pressed, girl. You'll never be happy. But thoughts on that, Sammy?
So initially, when they showed us the preview for this week, and Louie was writing on the notepad, I was kind of like, yeah, what's his reasoning for that? But as he did it, I mean, it was, Teresa, we know her brain's not that big. So the fact that they had just had the conversation and she kind of got distracted, I guess, being uncomfortable talking to Joe, I get why he jotted down, like, let's stay on track. This is what you call for. And you have him over here trying to aid the conversation and help it. And then you got Melissa over there being exactly what she's saying Louie is. She's still trying to cause division. She's annoying the hell out of me. I do think that although Joe may feel a way about what's going on, I don't think he's as affected as he's trying to make it seem. He's coming off like a very big ass drama queen. Sitting there twirling the tack on it. Like your nerves aren't that bad when it comes to this situation because his mind is already made. He doesn't want to deal with it. He wants to continue the beef with his sister, but he's just putting on for the cameras. And Melissa, the same. It's just it's theater arts over there with those two.
Not theater arts. It's so scenes like this are kind of what takes me out of reality and puts me into the mind of overproduction. Because this is just another example of, like, in real life, without this show, Teresa and Joe are very happy not fucking with each other. They don't hang out in between seasons. Before Melissa and Joe got on the show, they were not hanging out because at that christening, their father was talking about how they never hang out anymore. He wants to fix it, and Joe's crying in his lap and shit. So this shit is their issues are rooted like years before the show even started. So it's kind of like, I feel bad for Teresa, which takes a lot for me because I'm not her biggest fan, but like, you can tell that she's like, I just don't want to be around these people. Like, I'm genuinely happy not being forced to pretend like I want to make peace. Because you can see it all over her face. That lady does not give a shit if her brother ever comes around her face again. She does not care about Melissa. Both of her parents are gone. I think in the past year, she was probably trying for the sake of her mom and her dad. They are gone. She has no reason whatsoever to try to make it work with these two people who don't want to make it work. And the reason Melissa and Joe continue to aggravate me, it's because they are legitimately pretending as if they are flabbergasted as to why this beef has gone on for 10 plus years. And it's like, y'all came on saying y'all don't talk to Teresa. So I don't understand when the dynamic shift that now y'all are being bullied and it is hurting every inch of your soul to not be friends with this lady. Like, I don't get it. And I really wish that they would, if they're going to keep Melissa and Joe on the show, do not force these people to film together. Because I think that we would probably get a lot more organic drama with shit just kind of festering and being passive aggressive than forcing these fucking three people to sit down every other episode and hash out shit.
Yeah, Teresa said that next season, if they're still there, she's not going to be doing any filming with them. So hopefully she holds true to that so we can see what can y'all really bring outside of causing issues with her.
Yeah. Well, and you said it last week and the week before, like, Teresa has stuff that's going on, but every time Joe and Melissa get on the camera, it's talking about Teresa. And that's going to be even more apparent if Teresa is just like, okay, y'all go do what you're going to do. I'm over here. Like, we'll see really who the show needs to have on, and that pains me to say. But it will be Teresa. The show will need Teresa over Joe and Melissa.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to this topic some more because it comes back up at the actual housewarming. There were two scenes that I watched them, obviously. We can talk about them together, but there was a scene with Dolores and her mom and what son is that? What's his name?
Frankie Jr.
Frankie Jr., yeah. And then there was a scene with the Aidens, as in with Jen and Bill. And with Dolores, it was essentially about, her mom at the beginning, but then it turned to be about her relationship between, Paul and Frank. And Frankie Jr. was basically on his dad's side, which I understand. But what I'm saying is there's going to be a lot of people coming at Dolores on how she should move with Frank. And I'm not really liking that. I know we talked about this last week. I know Danny was more so, basically not on Frank's side, but felt like Dolores had a part in it too. But I do feel firm by saying that just has the right to move how she wants. She doesn't have to put up a Frank in any capacity if she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I mean, they grown, those kids just about grown. So it's like, I feel like they're putting a lot on her because of Frank. You know, they're making it's like she can't even really enjoy her happiness because of that. And so in this scene, like I said, her son is talking about, you know, he doesn't want his dad to be uncomfortable. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then in the other scene was Jen and Bill, and we talked about this last week, but it was basically what we said. Jen just wants Bill. Jen feel like she's not being supported, especially when she's up against the women. He feels like he's supporting her, but he also doesn't want to just always, I guess, agree and go with whatever she does and says at the moment, because we know Jen can be a bit unhinged when she's in an argument, or he knows his wife, and I think he does a pretty good job. I do think sometimes he could do a little more, but for most parts, when she's acting like that, I think he's doing just fine. That's just me.
Yeah.
But what were y'all thoughts on these two scenes? The scene with Dolores, Dolores and her mom and Frankie Jr., and then the Aiden scene, the dinner scene. Jamie.
I think you summed up Dolores' situation, and this scene really didn't lend more to the conversation than what we've already had. Yeah. I mean, all of them people in their 50s. Like, I am not going to sit here and pick apart their family dynamics or tell her she needs to do something. But it also harkens back to, would there be this much awkwardness if the camera crew wasn't around? Because, like, the camera crew is the one, you got to have boys' night. You got to go over there. You got to film with Dolores. So I imagine that kind of setup does lend to some frustration. But Dolores, I mean, they're grown men. Dolores is right. She's just like, I'm with Frankie, or I'm with Paulie. He and I are talking to what we got to do, and I'm not responsible for Frankie. Frankie can feel however he wants to feel, and that's that. And I mean, Frank's not being disrespectful. He's not coming in saying this is what it's going to be. This is it. Like,
it's everybody else.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's like they're navigating. There may be a little awkwardness, but they're navigating. And as far as Jen and Bill, like, if Jen expects Bill to back her up every time she gets in a fight, that man is going to be fighting for his life. Like, because every time you turn around, she's windmilling on somebody. Like, that man has a doctor's practice. He works 12 hours a day, and he's supposed to come home and fight your battles. Like, I mean, I can get there's some residual frustration because of the cheating, and she probably wants Bill to be a little more vocal. But there has to be some sort of self-awareness of, like, I act like a clown sometimes, and one of us has to be grounded. He never calls her out in front of people. He never says she's wrong. He just doesn't say anything. So,
Sammy.
When it comes to the Aidens, what I do want Jen to do is to be very careful with this back pay she's trying to get on Bill. You like, well, the kids have had a rough year because of what you did. Like, okay, Jennifer, we got it. He fucked up, but now you're going out and you're trying to give the kids $14 an hour minimum wage to do chores. Now you're getting this party bus for your oldest to go to prom. Like, don't try to make this man pay and do it in a monetary way, because when he leaves you, when he pull a Ralph and run down to that place to file them papers, you're going to really be miserable. So I do want her to, if she's still hurt about that, just speak to him and figure something out, but quit trying to take little darts at him to make him pay for it, and doing it like trying to do it real subtle. Like, we see what you're doing. And I know last week we said with Dolores, we wanted her to be to take more ownership, and why Frank felt so comfortable. I'm glad that she sat down there with her son, especially because now we can see that it's kind of really how she was saying, like, I'm doing this for the family. I'm doing this for the family. Listening to little Frankie say, like, I want my dad around. You can see that she really kind of was doing it to make them kids feel okay. But I'm glad that she's now saying, look, I'm not doing that no more. I need to worry about me and Paulie. However, Frank's level of comfort is not my priority anymore. So I'm glad that she's doing that. Hopefully it helps her and Paulie stay together, because I think, like Lil Frankie said, he's seen the dynamic between David and Frank, and it's like, we're not doing that here. Yeah. So hopefully she sticks to that.
Well, and little Frankie is what, 23, 24? Like, that's a grown man.
Grown enough. Like, if you want to spend time with your daddy, he ain't got one of his own. But
if your mama is telling you, saying,
y'all can get the hell out. Get out.
If you're so concerned about your dad's comfortability, and your mom is saying, I'm not, like, I've got my man here, you're a whole 24, 25-year-old man. Why don't you sit down with your dad and be like, hey, maybe give mom a little space. Allow her to grow in this relationship. Don't you have a whole ass 25-year-old girl over at your house? Like, what are you doing with
And
her? Go over there.
I think she allowed Frank and David to be so close because that kind of kept David around. The fact that she's quickly like saying,
I think that may have ruined, that may have made things more complicated for her moving forward. How she did that.
Eventually down the line, but I think she saw that they were kind of bonding, and she thought, "Oh, this will be perfect," and it ended up not working in her favor. But now that she's Paulie ain't with it, Paulie just wants to be there for her. She's like, "Okay, yeah, now we can really get this shit going."
And she deserves it.
She deserves it.
Listen, if Dolores want to be with that hot dog man, let her be with the hot dog man. Okay, period.
Come on, Oscar Mayer.
Right, just let it be. Okay, so we get the newbies are in this episode. They all out. They all in the mix. I will say that. And Rachel and Jen Fessler meet up. I don't know why I just like Jen Fessler's energy, and I like the.
I love her.
I like you got to say her full last name. I really would have.
In Jersey, they call each other by their first and last names. What's up with that?
I love it.
Dolores Catania.
Rachel Fuda, like it's a whole
Rachel Fuda. That is a food. Anyway, they meet up, and what took me out was because Jen, obviously we saw 2 episodes ago, she likes to eat, and she did share to us that she was a big girl in the past, and it looks like she still has those habits because. When Rachel asked to share the damn flatbread, Jen said, "No, this is my flatbread. Get your own food, skinny girl." That's what she said. And so, yeah, I love her for that. But they talk about the drama at the event, at Danielle's event, and Jennifer Aiden, apparently made a comment about Rachel's nose. The audacity. I don't know. I don't care if it was shade or if it was not shade, but the audacity. Okay. You can love Jen, you can hate Jen, but that nose is not it. It has not been it. We read it last season, and I'm gonna read it this day. We're gonna talk about it some more. But they talk about so she made it come by her nose. And so apparently Jen called Rachel to apologize. She didn't want to offend her about her nose. Keep that in mind. But then she started to talk shit about Dolores. At least that's what Rachel says. So she called to talk shit about her. But Rachel was just like, I don't be a part of that. I used to do Olympic training with Frank and Brittany. I don't know what else she said. So I don't be a part of that. Basically, she said she has loyalty to Dolores, so she didn't want to be a part of the conversation. So Jen Fessler says, "Well, girl, she called me too. She called me talking bad about Margaret." And they both are just bonding over Jen calling them. Now, apparently, Jen Fessler is a counselor, so I guess that's why she called for therapy or counseling. Yeah. I don't know what kind of therapist is. Do we know what she?
She said marriage therapy.
Oh, yeah, family therapy.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That tracks.
That makes sense. And so yeah, they both got their eye out for Jen. Rachel already had a little spat with her earlier, twice now. So it looks like she kind of like, yeah. And Jen F in this moment is being loyal to Margaret, but aren't they like not cool anymore? Is it?
That was another friend. I thought that was the other friend. Remember, 2 episodes ago, she said she fell out with a friend.
Oh, yeah,
Laura or something. Laura.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, give me y'all thoughts on Rachel and Jen's not sharing margarita flatbread day.
Listen, I'm not mad at Jen Fessler for not wanting to share. This is my flatbread. You order your own. We got the same menu.
Listen, that's me.
Okay.
Bitch, it's already a flatbread. It ain't gonna be much to eat.
It's 2 bucks.
I don't even know why Rachel asked. She act like she didn't see that lady stuffing down that mozzarella. You wouldn't get under that damn flatbread.
That camera flashback. She said.
But I will say I do enjoy them both. Especially I'm starting to like Jen Fessler more as the episodes go by. We're starting to see more of her personality, so I'm enjoying her more. I don't know how I was determined to make who the friend, who the wife, but I kind of like her more than Rachel. But I do like their scene together. And I think they organically enjoy each other, and they just happen to have that bond in regards to Jennifer and the bullshit she was pulling on the phone as far as a conversation piece. But I mean, eventually we see how it plays out later on in the episode. So I think they should probably be very prepared if they're gonna start messing with Jennifer Aiden.
Yeah, this is the first time in a very long time across any franchise since I think probably New York brought on Heather, Carol, and Aviva that I have liked every newbie that they have brought
Not
on.
Aviva.
Whether it be, I loved Aviva, no matter how unhinged fucking psycho she was a fantastic housewife.
That
But
lady
this
who
is
was
the
throwing
first
her
time.
feet around.
Yes. Not the
Only thing fake about me is
yes. But this is the first time since then that I think that every single new person that has been brought on in some capacity, I've been here for. And I really, really enjoy, because normally it's like you like two, and then the other one you're like, she like Tracy last year. You're like, Tracy can go.
no Tracy.
But it's I like them. They all give very different vibes. I think it's nice to have a breath of fresh air with girls who can laugh and really be funny and be stupid and joke around. But as you can see, they're gonna get and give into the drama later on. So I'm very interested to see their performance. But as of now, I love them. I think Jen Fessler, she reminds me of Cindy Barshop from season 4 of New York, with the big teeth and the black hair, and she was just very New York and very out there. Like, that's what Jen Fessler reminds me of. I love her. I want to see more of her.
Okay. We'll talk about this some more. It comes up at the housewarming. There was a small scene. Really, it was just Margaret and Dolores, and they called Melissa to basically talk about the invite to the wedding and why the family wasn't. And it's revealed in this moment that Joe is not going to. He's decided he's not going to go to the housewarming. So I don't think it's anything to talk about there. Let's just get into the housewarming day. There's a couple of things to unpack. At the housewarming, Teresa tells everybody that Joe isn't coming. She tells the girls, and they're just like, okay, we kind of figured they don't really care, to be honest. And then you got Joe on the other end, who actually talks about why he decided not to go. I didn't understand him. I didn't understand him deciding. I don't know. I don't get his.
He didn't understand.
Yeah, I don't think it really made any sense. But, hey,
the only
whatever.
thing he made clear once again was, you're not in the wedding. Your in-laws ain't coming. So why should I go to the house?
And I was just like, okay, so you don't want to move forward. I mean, basically, nothing would ever fix this, because it can't be fixed. Basically, when Teresa decided that what's her name, Melissa, was not in the wedding, this was already like just ruined. So I don't know. So the event starts, everybody's arriving, and everybody gets there. I think when Jen gets there, she gives her this little tree. She gave her a tree, right? And then Teresa, who gave her that tree? The little tree with everybody's name on it. Who gave her that? You don't remember? It was Jen, right?
Jen. Was it one of the Jens?
No, it was Jen.
It was
Rachel.
Not Rachel, but the other new girl.
Jen Fessler.
No.
Jen Fessler is Jewish. She was joking about she's an honorary Jew.
I don't know. Somebody gave her the damn tree, and then Teresa was like, "It's tree, like I'm tree. It's tree." I'm like, okay, I thought it was Trey, but whatever. I could be wrong. I don't know. Listen, you all tell me. I was just okay, tree. I asked you. And so Margaret, has gotten wind of knowing that Jennifer Aiden has been talking to Jen F, so she's gonna bring it up later. Joe is not there. Everyone's talking about that. They feel like it's kind of crazy that he's not there. Melissa's walking around, moping around. And, Dolores is asked about Frank. And this is where she really breaks it down again, that it's about her happiness. She's going to do it the way she wants to. Rachel Fuda says apparently Frank has been talking to her, or she's gotten word of what he's been saying or how he feels. I'm like, all right, Rachel, you're starting to click down, girl. Like, not that I'm just a Dolores fan, but I just feel like in this moment, in this episode, like Ashley Hinton just said, she lost points, but just because she just kind of talks a lot.
Yeah.
And when you talk a lot, I just see thirsty. That's just me.
Yeah.
But we got time. We're gonna see. But Melissa has a very awkward scene with the kids, and she's like trying to talk to them, and she tells them that Joe decided not to come because he fell asleep. And I'm just like, who you think you talking to? These kids are not 2 years old. They not 5. They not 8. They are grown. And you telling Gia that her uncle did not come because he fell asleep, like as if he's like, if you're trying to protect him. Like, no, this girl is grown. This is how you know how they kind of view them as like kids still, because clearly she knew damn well that man didn't come because he fell asleep.
I thought she said baby Joey. She said baby Joey fell asleep.
I can't keep up. Either one of them.
I don't know which Joey, but she put that in the reason, and I was just confused. Like it's very clear, you know. I could be wrong though. Maybe it was baby Joey. I just heard Joe.
Yeah, she said baby Joey, but either way, she was sitting there scratching, trying to make conversation when she should have been apologizing to them girls.
Yeah, maybe.
It was very odd. It was very odd the way that she showed up, rather than like genuinely like, hey y'all, how's it going? It's been a while, because whenever Trey announced that Joe wasn't going, I think it was Gia or Melania said, or it was Melania. She was like, well, that sucks. I haven't seen him in a while. Like,
she's like, we did. 6 months.
She did. She was like, I haven't seen him in a while.
You stroll in and you're just like, hey, Joe, sorry, can you have an honest, just like real moment?
You know,
but she didn't bring the Antonia or anything, did she? She didn't bring the daughter. So even if Joey and Joe didn't come,
she was at cheer camp or something she was doing, and the other one, she gave out kind of, one was at an 8th grade field.
Everybody. It just so happens. Y'all begged for this invitation. Now all of a sudden everybody's too busy for it except Melissa. Oh, girl.
You know, Melissa her whole purpose of coming was to just put on a
show. She should have stayed her ass at home too.
Yeah,
she won't be on display.
I'm sorry. She should have stayed at home.
And Jennifer A made it very clear. She said, you coming along, it sends a very clear signal. Melissa should have stayed at home with Joe for several reasons. One, because it does send a signal of division. She should have stayed at home for that reason alone. Mm-hmm. However, when she came, she cared like she didn't want to be there. She came in there looking with a sad ass puppy face. And then she moping around the party, and then she goes to talk to the girls. And I really love them, but I know they have hate for me. If you really love them and you know that they heard what you said about the podcast, that was your time right there to clear up what you said or what you meant and then apologize to them. But instead, you sit up there and you play in their face and just have this dry, unnecessary, fake conversation about things that don't even matter. Like you haven't been around for months. Like Melissa was very to me, I mean. Gia and what was the other one? Was it Gabriella? Because it wasn't Melania. The fact that
Melania's the second oldest.
Yeah, the fact they even stood there and had that conversation with her. Those girls have given more grace and respect.
At least they had it, child. Because I was
that's what I'm saying.
I'm surprised Gia didn't do this right here. Stop it.
Okay.
they gave them more than she deserved. And then to go and basically say that they're hateful. Like, girl, Melissa, they really finna be hating your ass after this.
Listen. If I was like, you're basically using those kids as pawns for whatever agenda you have against their mom, for whatever public like shaming against their mom that you're trying. And maybe it worked, 8 years ago when Trey was in jail and the girls were 10 and 11 and 14, but they're like late teens, early 20s now. They are adults. They've had a chance to process their experience, and they had a chance to see how you and your husband move. They're uncles. Like, these are not impressionable girls who are just going along with whatever they're being told. Like, they are formulating their own opinions about you as a person. And if they act like that around you as a person, that says more about you than it says about them.
And I think that a lot of people say, well, they just act that way because they hear what Teresa and Joe were saying about them throughout the years. That they may have heard things, but if I'm seeing it for myself, then that's going to make the things that I hear ring true. Like, I'm seeing you be an asshole to my mom. I'm seeing you talk bad about my father. I'm seeing you not come visit our no when he's like, we're seeing this for ourselves. So regardless of what they're hearing their mama say, they're witnessing it for themselves. So they're going to form their own opinion.
Yeah, man, they watch the shows. I mean, it's just like
watch the show.
To be honest, like most kids. So Teresa's kids they were on the show from when they were very little to now they're grown. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of, I will say, kids still on these shows that were on when they were younger. You got Riley, who's still around. Kim's kids are no longer on the show, thank God.
Thank God.
We saw Noelle was around, when she was a little older too. So I mean, put other kids. There's just not a whole lot of them that's been around for a long time. So they've seen a whole lot of shit. And I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure they watch the show. They already say Gia wants to be a housewife. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. So where things go left with this is that Teresa and Louie get up and they give a little speech. And in Teresa's speech, she says, you guys are my chosen family. And Louis is like, we love you, Joe. I'm like, oh shit. But honestly, I didn't think anything of it, to be honest. I really didn't, especially with the whole chosen, because when you think about it, Joe was chosen to be there and his ass chose to stay at home. So I'm just lost at what the issue was. But Marge, I really want Jamie to do Marge's voice. Marge didn't like it. Marge was like, that's not cool. But she's just like,
she said
cool.
That's disgusting. Melissa, that's disgusting. Do you hear what she said? She said
that was a dick thing to say. Like,
I was like, Marge, what did she say?
Marge, please. And it wasn't even a dig. Like, these women are not intelligent, because chosen family is a very common phrase. All that it means is friends who I have allowed into my life and have created a semblance of a family, familial bond with these people. These are people that Teresa loves. Like, girl, she has not said, and I choose you over family. Like, I love me some Marge, but this whole fucking party, she irritated the fuck out of me, because that bitch was going from person to person. Did you hear what she said about you? I would never allow
her
that.
damn disco dress, that damn disco
broken
romper.
hand and everything. Just
I'm gonna say this: I don't see anything wrong with chosen. I have had events and functions myself, and what I do when I'm trying to be shady, I say everybody that's here is who's supposed to be here. Anybody who ain't here, they don't matter. I will say that. Yes, I'm trying to let people know. Yeah, then you ain't here. You ain't supposed to be here. Oh, I don't think Teresa did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was invited. He showed up to come. So I didn't get the dig behind that. But maybe in the Italian family, maybe, I don't know. But Melissa doesn't like it. Melissa is talking to people as well. She's talking to Jackie about Joe not being there. How she's upset that he didn't come and why he felt like he wouldn't come. So she kind of storms off and she's trying to cry, but really she sounds like me, who's congested in the bathrooms. And I'm just like, Melissa, are you really hurt? Not really. Because there's been many times for you to break down and it would have just been at the damn housewarming. Let's just be clear. Listen, it's the house. You don't care about this house. You came. So, and if you really wanted your husband to come, to be honest, you should have had him come. I mean, I don't know. I just
wanted Joe to come. Melissa could have made Joe to come,
and that's what I'm saying. But I don't think she really pushed it. So it's he chose to come because it was chosen, but she also chose not to make sure his ass was there. I'm just saying, because it could have been a moment where they could have reconciled, but realistically, why would they reconcile? Because then we would have nothing to talk about for 10 more episodes, right?
It's only episode 4.
So after Melissa comes from the bathroom from her crying or whatever she's doing in the bathroom, she pulls Jackie to the side and was like, okay, I gotta tell you, I did tell Danielle about you saying that she got she dressed out of a clothes hamper and how you felt about her. And apparently Danielle can hear her name. And so she just bum rushes in the conversation. It was like, I gotta say this. Is this? I almost said, is this what cancer looks like? But no, she didn't say that. She said, is this what a dirty hamper looks like? And this what it looks like? And Jackie really can't even speak because honestly, Danielle is just going and she's moving her hands and going her hands. And Jackie is just like, listen, I did not. I mean, yes, I did say, that, but I didn't look you up and down. And they show a flashback of Jackie looking her up and down. So that was that. Now, to rewind for a second, when Jackie was talking to Melissa, Jackie did double down and say that she felt like she was tacky, couldn't dress, and that she had wore the same shorts twice in a row. She did say that. I want to add that. So fast forward to the conversation, Danielle is going and going and going. And Jackie's like, can you not put your hands in my face? She's like, this is how I talk. This is how I talk. And then she's just like, okay, well, is that a threat? She's like, well, honey, if there was a threat, you would know. Like, I'm from Staten Island, blah, blah, blah. And I guess Jackie can't really take the heat because Jackie just kind of says, well, if the words I'm sorry can't come out your mouth, then fuck off. She storms off. I'm going to get another drink. And she's gone. Give me your thoughts on Danielle and Jackie's small.
Not Khaki.
I was Jackie in this small little confrontation because I don't know, I wanted a little more. I wanted Jackie to give me a little more. I've seen Jackie do more, but I feel like she maybe had met her match. I don't know what y'all think.
I want to know what in the hell was Danielle apologizing for. You are the
that
one
too. I didn't understand that
then
either.
She said there talking about I never looked you up and down, but when she said at that dinner last week with Marge and Melissa, she was like, "Well, I usually don't do this, but I did do it to her." So which one is it, Jackie? I think she was not expecting Danielle to bum rush that conversation and dig into her ass the way she was doing. So she just found the quickest exit that she could, which was going to get a drink. But I don't get, like, what was Danielle apologizing for? She was like, if the word sorry don't come out your mouth, then fuck it. But you were offensive to her. You talked about her clothes. You was just doing it. But that's what made her come over here and jump in your face in the first place.
You think maybe she wanted an apology for not inviting
putting
her? The hand?
Maybe the hands.
Invited, but why am I inviting you to? Why am I inviting you to my home? If you think I dress tacky, what the hell you gonna think about my home?
I mean,
it's tacky too.
The hands. I mean,
it really is tacky.
Everybody needs hands. I mean, unless somebody is doing this, I will say, like, there are people out there, like, for example, Cynthia talks with her hands, but she don't be just doing this, but some people, that's a way to kind of, when people say, get your hands out of my face, a lot of times it's them they don't have shit to say. That's all they can think of. It's what I see on reality TV. I don't know. But because their hands don't really be in their face. And I've seen many altercations on these shows. Their hands don't really be in their face like that. But
the thing with Jackie, we've seen her over the years, the way she fights is with her words, because that little lady's tongue can be a little bit vicious. She prides herself on
confidence in jail.
She prides herself. She prides herself on being a little bit smarter, on being a little more loquacious. She knows a little bit more words. So whenever she was saying, "Get your hands out of my face," she thought that she was going to punk. What's her name? A little bit. Rachel. Was it Rachel yelling at her? I don't know. She thought she was. She was good. Sorry, Khaki. She thought Danielle. She thought Danielle was going to be like, and she was trying to make Danielle look a little bit stupid. But Danielle didn't back down, and she goes, "Okay, well, I can put my hands down and still fucking keep coming at you." So I really don't think she was prepared. She's used to going up against Teresa, who kind of stutters once she gags her a little bit. And then just kind of blows up and gets mad. Danielle didn't give it that. Danielle's energy just kind of stayed the same. And I love me some delusional Jackie, but she
turn into Karen.
She got
Messy Melissa talking about, I have to be honest. Oh, now you want to be honest. Now you want to come and tell some damn truth.
Win.
Did you you already spoke, right? Say it right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, overall, I do like Danielle. This little moment, she heard her name. She walked in on the right moment. Jackie was doing what she said she was doing, and she proved to be right as to why she didn't invite her. I don't see the issue with that. And she didn't let her punk her. Jackie walked off.
Yeah.
And I wonder what would have happened if she hadn't walked off. Like, I'm not saying they would have went to with fists and stuff, but
I don't think they would.
I think that it would have been a good. I would have loved to see Jackie up. I guess she showed why she no longer needed to be a main housewife, because clearly she had been punked.
And that was her time right there to do something that she ain't do nothing.
Yep.
She walked right on off.
Correct. So once she walks off, they go and find her, and Marge finds her, and it's Marge, Jackie, and Jen. Now, in this conversation, Marge expresses why, that's Marge, Margaret, whatever y'all want to call her, expresses why she's upset with Jen, and it's about, obviously, because she knows that she called Jen Fessler to talk shit about her, right? Also, make sure I like this video. I know y'all see Antonio and Sammy saying in the chat, like this video. Thank you. So Jennifer Aiden speaks up, and she talks about why she called Jen F. She said she called for therapy, and Marge is like, why would you call her for therapy, like, of all people? And she said that everything on the call was not all about Marge, but also alludes to Jen Fessler having some things to say about Marge as well. She was like that Jen Fessler was not 100% in favor of just Marge either. but that kind of goes over Marge's head. So, Marge is like, well, shit, get her over here. Get the bitch over here. Get my friend over here. So she get Jen Fessler over. She comes over, and Marge just goes back and is like, listen, how can we move forward if you keep going back? And while they're talking, Rachel Fuda gets into the conversation. And I'm just like, yeah, I get it, but Rachel,
His friends are working.
Just working. They are just
Working.
walking in. And Rachel comes in and she says, you did the same thing to me. You did the same thing to me. And, Jen was like, listen, no, I was giving you a history lesson. Rachel Fuda says, I didn't need a history lesson, bitch. I didn't need that. And Jen was like, yes, you did. She was like, she was like, it's not a history lesson. She said, yes, it is a history lesson. And she's like, yes, it is, you fucking idiot. And she says this to Rachel. Rachel's like, don't fucking talk to me like that. Giving very valid, girl. I didn't really do this, but I was very annoyed with Rachel because she didn't have to get involved in this whole thing. But at some point, Dolores hears. Dolores is upset because she's like, why are you calling her to talk about me? Like, I'm not calling to talk about you, but whatever. It's either here or there. Jen kind of calms down a bit and kind of speaks out because she says, like, listen, just calm down and just speak, right? So she calms down. And where I hollered is because when she calmed down, she said, listen, she said, listen, don't we talk about everything we call and we talk about everything that happens, right? She said, yes, I did feel bad for her horrible nose job. And I said, the audacity. This lady says, yes, I did call her to apologize for her horrible nose job. And I'm like, oh my God, she's still insulting her while she's calm. But I ain't gonna lie, I got my life. I'm not a Jen fan, I got my life. But then she turns to Jackie and she says, like, Jackie, don't we call and do this all the time? Jackie says, I don't know, I wasn't invited to the house, so don't ask me. I was like, oh my God, we're not gonna get anywhere in this conversation. But Rachel just says, leave me out of it, and she storms off and grabs her husband, tell her husband what Jen says. And Jen is sitting there looking superior again. I mean, she did have like 3 women at her. Teresa did come to her side, and Teresa was telling her, like, trying to come to her side and say, like, it wasn't like that. But the women already had their mind made up, obviously. At this point, it was only really Teresa on her side. So what were y'all thoughts, child? It was a lot. It started with Marge and Jen. It got really crazy with Rachel. And Jen basically told Rachel, girl, I got time for you every fucking time.
Basically.
She basically told her, like, you ain't nobody to me. Anytime you want it, I got you.
I love that Jennifer told her at the beginning of all that. I don't know why you trying to start with me. That was her warning. Leave me the hell alone, girl. Leave me the hell alone. But she didn't listen. It was typical Jen. I love that she handles her own and she doesn't back down from the girls. I don't understand what her reasoning was to try to have like conversation regarding Marge and Dolores on the phone with those girls, as if it wasn't going to come back. But the fact that she never backs away from it, she always owns it. But I was a bit confused when Marge was like, "Why is Jennifer over there yelling? Well, the whole damn group is in her face screaming at her. So, I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? Y'all know how she is. She's gonna fight back. But she kept it. She kept it all the way 100 with how she felt, and I'm glad that she didn't backpedal on anything.
It's the horrible for me. I'm sorry.
And it was Jen Fessler when she was walking by her to say it, when she turned around, like, is this bitch still going being? I love Jennifer. I have fallen in love with Jennifer from last season. Like, she really holds her own. She's
a great fucking housewife.
They try to do the whole bully gang up thing, and it just doesn't work when it comes to her, because she gonna stand there and she gonna go down the line and give each and every one of y'all what you coming for.
She fucking Marge, man. Just walking up, talking with Jackie and what's her name? Jackie and Jennifer are talking. No, I don't like this. She said horrible things about me. Why are you talking to her? And Jackie was like, well, we're friends.
Well, you know what she said? She was like, she said last week that she was running down, or basically told her that last week she was talking about you. But that brings me back to what Marge was saying, like, how do we move forward if you're still going to be talking trash about me? As if Marge was not just sitting at that same dinner with Jackie and Melissa telling
Marge absolutely lives by doing that.
My thing is, at this rate, they decided that they weren't going to be cool at that little pool party.
Yeah,
they were
literally
at.
an episode ago.
I mean,
Literally
so
an
when she says like how we gonna move forward, y'all haven't had a conversation since. So when y'all left on that, no, it's still Mayday, baby. I'm gonna talk my shit or whatever. Now I do agree. Now, Jen, I guess to stir some shit up, sure, but if clearly I wouldn't be talking. I wouldn't be talking to these girls about them. Like Jen obviously don't have nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Teresa got her husband.
Teresa got her husband. So it's like, but talking to Rachel, I wouldn't have did that because one, not even what she knew was about Dolores or not a friends or whatever, but she already had a little small thing with Rachel as it was. It should have been stopping at, oh my God, girl, I'm sorry. My nose is bad, your nose is bad. We cool, right? It should have stopped there.
Yeah.
And with Jen Fessler, like, I mean, she's made it very clear, unless I'm missing something, that she's friends with Marge. So I don't know why she just leave it at therapy and just say, listen, me and Bill are ready to get divorced.
I think she was trying.
She's like a real housewife. She's sitting at home with nothing to do, so she's gonna get on the phone and just run them out.
Well, I mean, she's done this game enough, and she knows that Marge does this. Marge calls around to see who is going to spill a little something so she can use it later. She was hoping that the ladies were going to spill something that she could bring up. So, Cortez, to your point, when you said that she was insinuating that Jen had shit to say about Marge. So she didn't necessarily say that to Marge. She said that in the confessional, right? Where she said, well, Jen wasn't exactly defending Marge, which Jen probably sat there and was like, okay. Because if Jen Fessler had said anything, knowing Jennifer Aiden, the first thing she would have said was, she told me blah, 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 blah. So that plan backfired. I will give it to Jen. Her plan on both sides backfired, but she stood in it and somehow still turned it on the bitches who were mad about it. But I will say that Jennifer Gouda, whatever her name is.
I'm a weak, not Gouda.
She gagged Miss Aiden a little bit at the end. When Miss Aiden said, don't let the door hit you on the way out, she goes, that's not a fucking door, idiot. Like I said, that's it. We're outside. Got a bitch.
Oh, holla. She had, no lie. Jen had Rachel so mad, and I was
so mad.
She was pissed. She was like, do not talk to me like that. And she was like, basically, what are you gonna do about it? Because you started with me.
Listen, the thing is, Jen talks a big game, but that girl cannot fight, and you know it. Rachel looks like she could throw a punch or two. Like, I think she would wear Jen the fuck out. And I'm ready to see it. It was her
husband for me when they were leaving. Because you could tell he didn't want to go. He was like, you want to go? You don't want to just go back and check her? He wanted to stay and have some more drinks. Like, he
wasn't he the one that showed up drunk? At the beginning of the episode,
19
he
shots.
Came in drunk. He was like, yeah, we're fine. That man having a good time.
He loving this.
Let me see this thing right here. Okay, my bad. But I mean, it just kind of, I'm curious to see where things are gonna go. With you know what? Jen has a lot on her plate, and I get it. I'm coming in to beef with her. It's just like, you know, I feel like there are other bitches on the cast that need to work. Okay, somebody needs to beef with Melissa. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
God,
they're not choosing the right girls. Jen needs to. If she even has friends, they need to bring her in a friend so we can go at these other bitches, because it's just like.
Bitch, I love the fact that Jen was sitting there beating up 5 bitches, and Teresa didn't pay no mind.
Jen held her own. She didn't need Teresa, because if Teresa didn't come over, she would have still been yelling, and it probably would have been worse than what it was. So hey, these are moments I live for. Like I said, I'm not a Jen like stan, but in these moments, she can give you unhinged, mouthy housewife. I see Mel said, I said it before, Jen is the Candace of New Jersey. Yeah, I can see that to an extent, but I don't stand for Jen like that. So that's my which I know I stand for Candace. So either here or there. I'm gonna go ahead and send a link in the chat for a few callers. Y'all have any final thoughts on this episode? I did not. I saw the preview for next week. And it looks like it's Jen against Marge again. And Jen was like, yeah, like my family that you'll never know nothing about. And and Marge was cussing since she had a perfect fucking family. We've seen them argue a million times, but it's always some great little lines that come from it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think my
Hit a
favorite
nerve.
my favorite part about seeing the preview for next week was just like when they were arguing in Teresa's backyard. She's having all kind of side conversations, like she's used to the chaos with Jennifer now. They were sitting at the table going back and forth. It looks like Teresa asking like somebody to hand her something. They ain't paying them no mind. They back there going crazy, and she's trying to get her food handled. I love it though.
I really thought we were going to get a Marge and Jen team up this year, and that don't look like it's going to happen.
Never.
Ever. Oh.
Maybe
Marge will get pregnant next season.
With what?
Oh my goodness.
A baby. She needs a storyline because I'm so tired of her fighting with Jen every year. Like, I need something different. And that man, her husband, did want to have sex with her before he fell asleep at the beginning of the episode. So,
God today.
My God today.
Okay. With that being said, we do have a caller in the queue. So
8? Oh, I was like, I can't stay on. I can't stay on for 8. I cannot do that.
Damn. We have had 8 callers.
No come on at 9. 8's a lot.
Well, for Beverly Hills, we have a lot of callers in the queue.
Yeah.
And actually sometimes with Tommy. So yeah. You never know. All right. Our caller is going to be Lisa. Make sure y'all like and subscribe this video.
Boo?
What's going on, Lisa?
What's up, my boos? But honey, I'm like you on Jennifer, girl. Jennifer held her own last night. And I'm gonna tell you like this right here. I believe the other Jennifer and what's her name, Raquel. Man, y'all need to go somewhere. I can't stand Raquel. She seems like she's very annoying.
Wait a minute, Lisa. Her name is
whatever name, Raquel, whatever damn name. She need to go somewhere. Okay, because she's very goddamn annoying. Okay, to me she's annoying. Okay, so bitch need to go sit down somewhere. Then they need to get rid of her and keep Danielle. Baby, I like Danielle the way Danielle stepped the jacket. What you talking about? I need to put my clothes in the dirty clothes hamper. I saw she came right on in with it. And baby was not scared of Jackie, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm glad they got Jackie reduced as a friend this year. Because she was boring and getting on my last damn nerves. Talking about food disorder, okay? You got a food disorder, do something about it, baby. And let's move right along, okay? Because you ain't talking about nothing else. Okay. And not just like that. I'm glad. I'm gonna tell you something. That girl, I really do believe Jen called these girls. I really do believe Jen did call the girl. She asked one girl to me, I'm apologizing. And she said, well, I was trying to give you the history. Because knowing what's her name, Rachel, whatever her damn name is, she said, what happened? And Jennifer went into the history. And so same thing with Jennifer over there. Then whatever that goddamn girl name is, Jennifer, whatever her damn name is, she need to go to. She got on my last damn nerve too. She gonna be problematic too. And she started to get on my last goddamn knowing and no. I mean, that's annoying. These are two annoying bitches on the goddamn show. They need to get rid of them. I'm tired of them already. Okay,
I like that, Lisa.
Okay, and let me go. Let me hear you. I'm tired of this mess. Okay, Bravo. Somebody gonna have to go. Teresa or Melissa. Okay, this shit got my last goddamn nerves. Okay, y'all keep telling it back. These girl was around through the whole season, just like Cortez said. These young girls been around. Okay, they haven't seen every damn thing. Okay, they seen when their mamas in jail. Who's there? Who's not there? Okay. And plus, you forget, y'all wasn't on one who was filming with Joe, Kathy, and Rosie was filming with him too. Why? You know what I'm saying? So come out the bug, okay? Just come out the bug. Man, I'm so sick of this. Y'all don't want to do nothing. Y'all don't want to talk about nothing until you get on the show. And then when y'all get off the show, you get text messages and video of you saying stuff that's not true. Okay, so I'm sick of it. So Bravo, somebody gonna have to go. Get on my last goddamn nerve. Now this season might get on my last goddamn nerves. Jen, y'all know I love me some Jen Aiden, but girl, stop going off the goddamn hood. Need to divorce the motherfucker and move on, okay? Because he done had the affair and it's done, it's over, okay? Okay, you can't keep punching that man.
Yeah.
But I don't blame. Now you gonna buy a brand new car. And you ain't tell me you buy the goddamn brand new car. Why ain't know about the goddamn brand new car? I need me a brand new car.
Me too.
But that's all I got to say, boo. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, please like that button for my boy Cortez.
Please.
And I will see y'all next week. Love you, my boo.
All right, thank you, Lisa.
Bye, Lisa.
We actually have another call in the queue. And it may be a first time call. I'm not sure, but I've seen this person in the chat
First
before.
time caller.
Is it Ash or Ashley?
No, I'm not a first time caller.
You've called in before.
Not for this show, but I'm not a first time caller.
Okay. Well, welcome back.
Well, welcome back.
Yes, it's been a while. It was like Atlanta last year. Okay, but anyways.
Okay.
A lot of shows have happened. A lot of shows have happened.
Are you Ashley Hinton in the chat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep it relatively short. Just go down to 3 people that I just did not like this episode. So, Joe, Marge, and Rachel. I feel like Rachel, she's just very new. So some of the stuff she pulling is just new people stuff. And I feel like Joe, he just been on the show for too long to be acting how he acting. And Marge, she just too old in general. But starting with Joe, he wanted his absence to be his presence so bad in this episode. Like, I think we know you got the invitation because you done called everybody and told everybody you got the invitation. Your wife is here, you're not here. That's just doing way too much. And you wanted your name to be said. So it would have been better if he would have went, especially after their like make peace phone call. It's just too much. Like, your whole storyline cannot be your sister. But I feel like that's common sense. Okay. Anyways, moving on to Marge. Marge, I'm honestly like, I'm in the middle between not liking her and liking her a little bit because I feel like she definitely was putting in work this episode. Girl, you talking to everybody? Going over everybody? And I like how she casually, I will give her respect on this, how she casually tried to read Jen. And Jen was like, oh, so we starting up? I feel like that's what led to Jen reading the shit out of Rachel calm. Because she was like, if Marge can come at me with the energy, with the good energy, I'm going to read this bitch with some good energy too. Yeah, Rachel, moving on to Rachel. That's really what I want to say. Like,
it's Raquel.
Wrong road, Rachel.
Like, honey, just because you have camera time, just do this. Like, you don't have to be talking. And I feel like her going into that conversation, I think she had one thought and one thought only, and it was what she was going to say. I don't think she actually thought about Jen's response and the experience Jen has with the show to be strategic enough to respond at whatever Rachel would have said. So I feel kind of bad for her on that, but that's just newbie stuff. I think she needs to be a little bit more head on like the other new girl, Danielle, because I like her. But overall, I feel like those were the 3 people that really made me side eye this episode. But I still feel like they brought it to where it was an enjoyable episode towards that part. Because the other stuff was kind of like too much Joe, Melissa, Teresa. But that part was interesting.
I agree. I agree.
Thank y'all for having
literally
me.
ruined everything.
Oh, thank you. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Calling.
Okay, well, thank you for calling. Okay, Ashley.
Bye, Ash.
Bye.
All right. I definitely agree with her, especially with the Rachel thing. Rachel, she's cool, but you can tell. I get what she was trying to do, but maybe she could have just waited for another moment. I don't know. It was already going to be a lot anyway, but she really helped Marge out, to be honest.
Yeah, Marge scooted on
because it was about to be a Jen and Marge thing. So I think what we're going to get next week was about to happen there. But when Rachel got in, she was like, you know what, Marge? Hold on. Let me get you. Let me get you, girl, because you don't know me. And Rachel just needs to be prepared if she's going to beef with Jen, that anything will come out their mouth.
Well, and Jen doesn't stop. That's the thing. Other girls, when they're tired, Jen is like Candace. They will and they can keep going. Every time you have something to say, I can come back with something lower, with something
louder.
With something louder, with something that's going to cut you just a little deeper. Because I don't have a boundary. You started with me. So I'm going to make sure I finish it.
Yeah, you see how when she was leaving the party, she watched her walk out the door, and she looked back like, "Who next?"
She said, "All right,
Right.
3 down."
And after she said all that, they left her ass alone for the
Left her alone.
night.
Marge didn't come back and say nothing. She was like, well,
Marge, Marge little Bob and her disco romper was gone, baby. All right, y'all. Well, listen, thank y'all for watching today. Thank you to our callers, Lisa and Ashley, for calling in and giving us your thoughts. And thank you, Sammy and Jamie. We'll be here next week for episode 5. Be sure to check out Real Housewives of Miami. We will be doing episodes 15, 16, I think it is. Yeah. So basically,
it's the finale.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the finale?
Yeah, tomorrow's the finale.
Okay, so then last week's episode and tomorrow, which is the finale. So we'll be doing that this weekend. It'll be posted by Monday. So check that out too. And then we have the last part, which is part 3 of Potomac on Monday. If you're going to be watching the SWV and Escape show that's going to be premiering on Bravo, that's going to be hosted by Chase and another set of panels. So check out for that. But it's going to be a pre-recorded show. So it's going to be recorded and posted just like Miami. It's not going to be a live show unless they decide to go live, then they have the will to do so. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys next time. If I don't see you, have a great weekend. All right. Good night, y'all.